Rabbitohs Radio Podcast, the number one source for everything South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell. I'm joined by my loyal co-host and friend, Darren Browny Brown and Big Lez from the Big Lez Rugby League Podcast, mate. What's doing, boys?
Yeah, not too much, chaps. Just been out to Erskineville Oval today to watch one of the South Sydney Junior A-grade games, and I just want to give a special mention to the Alexandria Rovers. It was a top-of-the-table clash against the Coogee Dolphins. It was an outstanding game of football, both the A-grade and the A-reserves. They came up trumps in both of them. So the Rovers boys, they're on their winning way, and, yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, nice. I just went to watch my younger brother play. Wombats just lost. Unfortunately, we went out to Manly versus a team out there. It was quite good. Good game. And yeah, pretty chill one.
I was down at Leichhardt, actually. My daughter played league tag. I didn't know too much about this league tag till this year. We had a lot of rain-offs, but, yeah, they were down 6-4. The bell went, and they scored a 40-metre try down the sideline, running around another post to win it on the bell.
Oh, well done.
Pulled the pants down of the Leichhardt Wanderers, mate.
So we've all had a sporting Sunday.
Yeah,
exactly. For sure. And that's what it's all about, community and grassroots sports here on Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of news since we've been on air, in particular the big win on Friday night of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. We will get to that, but Origin teams have dropped Big Lez and Brownie, and he's back, baby. Latrell Mitchell, Cam Murray's back, but he was always going to be back. I always said it last week. He will be the first one picked. But Latrell Mitchell, deservedly so, back in the team. He's an X factor.
Yeah, it certainly is, chaps, and well done to both Latrell and Cameron Murray. But Latrell very well deserves. He's been in superb form for the Rabbitohs over the last month, and he's just a big game player. He loves owning the big moments. He loves being in the Origin arena, and I'm sure he'll get the job done again in Melbourne next Wednesday. But Cam Murray, well, he's just built for Origin, isn't he, boys? He's just an outstanding player. And look, Origin's built on effort for 80 minutes, and that's Cameron Murray all over.
Yeah, great to see Latrell back in the side. And interestingly enough, we haven't actually lost an Origin game since he's been in the side. Whenever he's in the side, it looks like we win games. So hopefully a good omen for us going into this one. As for Cam Murray, I think I agree with your sentiment from last week. I mean, he was phenomenal in his return too for South Sydney. And
you were bang on, jumped on in the middle there. Played
jumped on in the front row with Tallis Duncan. It was good to see those boys have a good one. And obviously we'll talk about South Sydney in a moment. But New South Wales, I think it's great to see both of these guys back. And hopefully you'd imagine the Troll at left centre with Brian Toto, Critter on the right with Lomax. Hopefully that works out for us.
Yeah, for sure. The centre pairing of Stephen Crichton and Latrell Mitchell, that's a good centre pairing. The wingers they do their jobs. That Lomax was outstanding in his first outing. Brian Toto is going to do a lot of carries, and Dylan Edwards, we finally get to see. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed, he doesn't get hurt between now and that game. But I think he's another one that's an effort on effort. He's built for Origin. He's like a Cam Murray version at fullback, mate.
Yeah, he certainly is, chaps, and he's bided his time for a long period. While Teddy has been in superb form and probably finds himself a little bit unlucky, Teddy, because I thought he was okay in Origin 1. Came up with a few errors late in the game, but the game was gone then. Another surprise, well, not surprise selection, but another selection, a new man in the team, Mitch Moses. Another, great performance against the Roosters, and he's deservedly picked as well.
He's a good footballer.
I agree. Just back on Teddy, I think the big thing for Madge, I think, after the Roosters game was just Tedesco and a few low percentage plays, and we did see that in game one. Obviously, some silly tip-ons and some other low percentage plays, which Dylan Edwards realistically just isn't going to make in that Origin arena. And the big thing with Madge was just getting a bunch of goers, but also not having too many chefs in the kitchen. And with Teddy coming out, Edwards going in, Edwards is so good at playing off the back of what his halves do, what the rest of his spine does. Whereas obviously Tedesco tries to make a lot of those opportunities himself.
Tries to be a ball player, doesn't he?
I think that Moses will especially, really look forward to having a guy like Edwards out the back of him, obviously, that he's going to be playing off those big opportunities. And averaging 250 metres a game or thereabouts. He's just an absolute workhorse, 20 runs a game. I'm so excited to see Edwards in there.
Our kicking game.
Teddy overplays his hand.
He does.
Let's be honest. He's an effort. He's been brilliant for our state for a long period of time, and look, Father Time catches up with everyone, and it's time to hand over the mantle to Dylan Edwards and the bloke who played today. I mean, geez, he's got a future. Young Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher Sharp, unreal there at fullback for the Knights. Back on Moses, though, as well. I think that's a big call as well. Good to see that he's in the side there at number 7. Realistically, I don't think Hines was going to get picked, especially after the performance we saw from him on the weekend. Unfortunately, I think the pressure of being in this conversation has gotten to him over the past few weeks. We saw it against Penrith. We saw it in game 1, and then we've obviously seen it in his performance in the weekend. So Moses coming in, even in that loss to the Roosters, had a great game, run over 100 metres in that game as well, was trying to get involved and do things for his side. And look, as I said, Moses is that guy that makes opportunities for his team, and he's going to have Edwards, playing off the back of that as well. He's not going to have anyone playing off, playing too much or getting too involved like Tedesco would, or like some of the other guys that could have got picked were. I think it is going to work really well.
And he brings in a long kicking game as well. Something that we didn't have in the first game. Thought our kicking game was a little bit ordinary in the first Origin performance. But, yeah, he'll bring that long boot and get us out of trouble.
Now you've probably seen a photo on social media by Rabbitohs Radio Podcast there. We chucked it up there. Look, Madge was sitting on the table right next to us at the Spa event, which we're going to have a little chat about in a minute. One of the best events South Sydney's ever put on, in my opinion, Brownie. Look, the only question mark I got on Madge, I'm not sure what this Luke Keary at number 20, what it's all about. It's like me and Les were chatting about on the way over. I mean, he's retiring. He's not like he's in any career best form or anything. I just don't understand that one. Why wouldn't you have a young emerging player?
It's not like he's in terrible form. Like Luke Keary's played some great footy over the past few weeks, and I can see why, if you're picking a side off form, he'd definitely be in the conversation. He is retiring at the end of the year, which does hurt the planning for the future and stuff like that. I think Madge was very clear that he was picking on form. He wasn't picking on developing for the future. In saying that, though, if you are picking off form, I think Burton, very unlucky to miss out on this squad entirely. I mean, lucky for Doggies fans, they won't have to complain about him being the 18th man and missing out on dog selection this week. But just not having him in the squad entirely, I think, is big. I think even not having Isaiah Katoa in there over Luke Keary.
Well, you spoke about him a couple of weeks on the show.
And just his maturity that he plays with, and just his long kicking game as well. He's probably, other than Moses, the only right dominant half in that side as well. So if someone does go down with injury, particularly in Moses, he slots right in and does a job. And again, another guy that really doesn't overplay his hand, plays with structure. And then you obviously got guys that can break the game open, like Latrell Mitchell, that come in and do their thing as well. So
it's not as if we've got inexperienced halves there, is it? Where you think maybe Keary would come in and give him some support throughout the camp.
Yeah,
it's not the case. So it's a strange
it is
selection.
A strange one.
Well, Moses is in his peak now, and obviously Jerome Luai's won 3 comps in a row. So definitely not a lack of experience there in the halves.
That's right.
Yeah, you spoke about poor old Nico. Look, he's been one of those guys. He's just a great club football player. I mean, he had a pressure moment at the end of the night to square that one up, and he was never going to kick that, was he? He missed that one.
Like it faded away like the New South Wales Blues jumper.
It looked pretty tough. Brownie, he's ruthless. He's on a ruthless streak tonight. And,
what are your thoughts about Connor Watson, guys, being in the squad there at number 14?
I like it. I think he was there in game 1 if he wasn't injured, by all reports. He's got a bit of Craig Wing about him, Brownie. And Craig Wing used to come on at that 25-minute mark and really just explode at a dummy half. No pass, and just run straight and hard between defenders on quick play the balls. He'd be looking to get up Cam Murray as soon as he does one of those nice quick play the balls. He'll be scooping and running. And
well, he comes on with energy.
He's a confident player too, isn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's doing an outstanding job at the Roosters, playing very well, coming on at 9 or 13. Can play in a number of different positions, and that's why he's been picked the number 14, the versatility player that he is. And it'll be exciting to watch when he gets his opportunity.
No matter who you picked at 18th man, having a guy like Connor Watson on the bench who can play a number of positions is such an asset to have for your team. He can play pretty much anywhere from 1 all the way down to 13. So, looking forward to see what he does, where he plays. And I think the fact that we don't know where Connor Watson is going to come into the game makes it even more confusing for a guy like Billy Slater to now pick a side off the back of it as well.
And you did speak about in game one that Robson energy was outstanding and effort areas, but he just probably lacked a little bit of creativity, a bit of explosiveness. So we get to cover that a little bit there when Connor comes on, and how he comes on, I don't know, because he can all. Again, I've seen him play 6 a few times, especially coming through the grades. He was outstanding.
But also, as well, with some of the smaller guys like McInnes and Hudson Young. Unfortunately, Hudson Young misses out on selection and going into this game. I feel like he didn't play poorly, and neither did McInnes either. Obviously, defensively was solid, but I just think in attack, you've got to have a few guys that can make that impact, or if they can't, make those tough carries, they've got a bit of footwork and deception as well to set up some other guys, or, break through the line in different ways. So I think Watson, being that smaller guy who probably will come on in a bit of a roaming role, is going to suit the side a lot better than what a McInnes would.
Yeah, he might break the game open a little bit like Harry Grant does as well.
Let's hope we can get 13 on 13 this time.
Let's hope so.
It just makes it a little bit harder when you're playing a man short for 73 minutes. So, look, we'll get on to the SPA event. That's the Former Players Association event to raise money for those guys where they get together and just continue the club spirit and talk about old stories. And Brownie's one of the blokes, he just don't miss an event, like Ross Harrington. Gets out to every event, did a great job on the auctions. There were some great items up for grabs, and geez, Latrell was keen on a few items, wasn't he? Just
certainly
didn't quite get over the line. Yeah, he was bidding on all sorts of things.
Big bid on the New South Wales number 3 jersey too, I'm hearing.
Yeah, he had a big bid there. He sat next to Madge there, and they chewed the fat for a bit. But
yeah, no, it certainly was, Chaps. It was an outstanding event, and you mentioned it early in the show, probably one of the best ones that we've been to. I agree. I thought it was unbelievable to be honouring the 2014 Premiership winning team. 14 of the 17 players were there that played in that game. It was outstanding. Jason Clark, Reno stayed back after the game against the Broncos. All the players. Madge was there, and an outstanding event, raising some good money. The event is run by the Former Players Association. They've got a committee in Sean Garlick, Steve McDermott, and a number of other members. Shannon Donato is one of them. And it was, a great event. It was, we all had a ball, and, it was good times.
I got Shannon nails his jokes every time.
He does.
He told a couple of rippers out there. It was good. Like Madge got up there and was interviewed by Mike Whitney on stage, and just the passion that he speaks with and the way he spoke about setting up that premiership win in 2014. It started from day one where he tried to get them all together. He went and spoke to George Piggins and said, look, I'm a neutral observer. I want everyone on the same page, on the same page and the same plan, and they got it all together. And, mate, you'd run through a brick wall for Madge, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The way he spoke up there. And, yeah, it was really good. And the 50-50 draw, that was $10,000 the other day. So one bloke walked away with $5,000 cash there.
Oh, wow.
And the SPA organisation gets to keep the rest. So that was really good fun. And, the boys kicked on down Coogee. I think Luke Keary and Appy Coruscant come down and join their teammates later because they had games on the day. So fantastic for those guys to get together and really enjoy it with the current squad. We're really having a good time up there too.
Yeah, and I've seen a few posts on social media about why didn't the members get an invite. And like I just said, it's not run by the football club. It's run by the Former Players Association. Fans can go. They can buy tickets, but you just got to know when it's on. And usually it's after a Thursday night or when the Rabbitohs play on a Friday. But, it was good that the whole current squad was there as well.
It was a sellout. You couldn't have fit anyone else in there anyway.
Sold out.
A lot of the sponsors and stuff like that. We were lucky enough to have all our sponsors and contributors. Tippy O'Connell, the coach for the Flegg team, we'll go through his results a bit later on. But, what a great day that was. And we might get into the big win on Friday night there at Accor Stadium. 22 points to 12 boys. 3 on the trot. Look, we're looking okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid win, Chaps. You were out there in horrendous conditions, pouring down rain. I thought we played a really good wet weather brand of football. We're changing angles early. I thought the win was really set up with our defence, only leaking in 12 points, and then 2 tries were scored late in the game. 22-0 for a long period of that game, and solid D.
We spoke about middles in the lead up in the little predictions one on, I think it was Thursday Arvo, and I think Big Les spoke about those 2 middles of Payne Huss and Carrigan. the boys got 2, 3, 4 in the tackle on them blokes early in the contest, and it really stunned their momentum. And any time they wanted to shift it, when they didn't have that momentum, we seemed to be able to sort of scramble from inside out and push them out. And if anyone wanted to come back on the inside, there was waves of people just coming across belting them. It was very organised. It's a completely different defence from 6 weeks ago.
And what's strange as well is if you go back and look at the stats, if you didn't watch the game, you didn't see the score, you look at purely just the player stats. Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas, Selwyn Cobbo ran for 218 metres, but both Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas both ran over 100 metres. You know, David Moali, I think, only got around 80. Not many of those boys run over 100 metres. You'd think, looking at the stats, not even at the possession and count and stuff like that, that the Brisbane Broncos won that game. But then you go look at the score. You look at the obviously the completion rate and stuff like that. It's unreal, the effort that the boys put in. Absolutely unbelievable. And you know, I didn't think I'd be saying this sentence, but Dave Moali won the forward battle against Payne Haas and Patrick Carrigan.
Gigi put on a great shot. It was a one-on-one shot on Payne Haas, and the commentators, I wasn't at the game, but watching it on TV, and the commentators couldn't believe. They said, who was that? Just a one-on-one stop Payne Haas. But like you said earlier, Chaps, our scramble defence was outstanding. You just said that all them players run for big metres, and defence is based on effort, and that's what we've got at the moment. Effort on effort on effort.
Well, it was, you speak about Davey, there was one hit up that he did where I think he got touched up by Piacora from the outside, and he bounced straight off it, made another 5 or 6 metres, had a dominant play the ball.
We scored off the back of it.
Then I think it went to Keon, and then it was out to old mate Jackie White, and he come back on the inside.
That's right.
Quick play the ball, and Damien Cook, a heads-up play, ran at the bloke who was running with his back to the defence.
Yeah, well, he was caught on the ground from
I think it was Piacora again.
It was.
I don't know what he was doing. Like you get taught that at underage. Don't turn your back on the ball.
Yeah.
Don't turn your back on the ocean either, Piacora. But anyway, we're off to a flyer there, 4 blot, boys.
Yeah, and you spoke about Keon as well. For him to run nearly 200 metres against the Brisbane pack and be that as dominant as he was, like you watch the game the first time, you got to sort of watch it back and look at him individually to notice how big of an impact he actually had and on the go forward, and just being that link man as well. And even when Murray came on with Talis Duncan, they were still playing a bit more of a middle role, and Keon was still playing that 13 link man, and he did an amazing job.
Yeah, it's been a revelation, Keon moving to the middle, and like you said, that rotation. I thought our subs the other night were outstanding, bringing Cam on and leaving him in the middle, but leaving Keon in the middle as well.
Yeah,
leaving the edge back rowers where they were. I thought it was outstanding. Just quick feet through the middle in them conditions. Outstanding bit of coaching there from Ben Hornby. And I know you gave him a rap last week, but that's another reason to wrap him.
And you've seen the press conference, every time they try to, I told you, they all try and ask Latrell questions. He come, it was a good team win. Yeah, of course, individuals played really well, but the whole team played well.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, also, speaking about bench rotation, when we went down to 10 when Richie Kenner did the high tackle, he got Tallis out there and he had Cam Murray. I think Cam Murray actually had to play on an edge because when you go down to a man short, you only have 2 middles, and he pushed him out a little bit wider, and he made a couple of great cover tackles because of his foot speed and all that stuff and his agility. But we really played that period. I think that's the best 10-minute period of the season.
Yeah.
But I know we didn't score a point, but we didn't concede one either.
No,
it was
right.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Well done to Benny Hornby and his staff and the playing group for what they did there. Now we'll just go through our tries that we scored there. The other one was Keon's try. Now the lead up to that one was another power game again. I think it might have been Davey and Keon again with some hit ups, and then a really nice face ball from Cody left to right out to Gags. We could have passed it on the inside to Latrell. It was unmarked, but he took the tackle.
Well, he fell over, didn't he? He stepped and he fell over. If he doesn't fall over, I reckon he goes close to scoring and wrong footing. I think it was Ezra Mann that come over and cover. But outstanding ball from Cody. He's just a magician, and always his pass selection is unbelievable. Always 90% of the time hitting the right man. And like I said, it set it up for that last play, and Cody, a nice little left foot kick. He had to bounce across a couple of steps to get away from Carrigan. Lucky he was on the right side and put that little left foot up right beside the post. And the good thing about it, again, there in that particular try, there was about 4 or 5 Rabbitohs around the ball that could have caught that ball.
Yeah.
And that's all about effort as well.
Yeah, so good to see the boys putting in so much effort over the past few weeks. But yeah, Cody, we spoke about it last week after the Gold Coast Titans performance. He suits that 7 role so well. I'm keeping him there now. I think that's his role moving forward. He was outstanding. And Whiten, who I'm sure you're going to speak about soon, his kicking game was phenomenal. I never thought that I'd be seeing Whiten put on a kicking display like that, and it's just not a part of his game I think about.
Well, I think he was on like the 25 or the 30. He kicked his kick to the opposition 10 or 20. Live, it was incredible. It was one of the biggest kicks I've seen live. I thought it was Latrell at first.
Yeah.
But because there was so much rain and stuff, it pissed down in that second half. I don't know what come up on TV. The conditions was horrible out there.
Yeah, the big kicks as well, but also the chase. Like every time Whiten would kick, that whole left side would come in cover and chase that ball. Like it was, just the little things that we're getting right now. It is all starting to come together. I'm really looking forward to it.
And just speaking of that, our kick chase, like you said, was outstanding. Normally, if long kicks, you got 1 or 2, 3 players just chasing down, not in a direct line. But our kick chase line was unbelievable. Yeah, really good.
I mean, we'll speak about Gags later, but just Jags had a game. He led a lot of kick chases. Look, we played that power game down the middle again, and our shifts were pretty tight, but it was another little power set up there for the big fella to go over close to the line. It was a little overs line, I think. Someone ran a decoy in front of him, and they threw it out the back there, and he hammered that halfback.
Yeah.
He hit him with his elbow too, elbowed him in the head and went straight over and scored. He beat Staggs first, legs tackle.
Yeah, no one was stopping him.
You can't stop him from there.
No one was stopping him.
He's an animal, mate.
They said on the commentary once again that you could hear Latrell calling for the ball in the special effects mic. Joey Johns, I think, said it. There was no one stopping him. He beat Staggs on his way to the line and carried Jock Madden over. But, he's just a powerhouse, Latrell. And it was good to see. And that's the involvement we want to see from him, from the word go.
And, obviously in past performances hasn't really cracked that 100 metres, 176 metres in 15 carries. It just shows how dominant with the football he was and how involved he was in this game. And he wanted that Blues jersey and he showed it. It was really good to see him just getting involved for the boys and showing that he is committed to this side moving forward, especially since we have to win, I think, is it 9 out of 11 games to get into the top 8?
Something like that.
That'll be
somewhere
around
9.
that.
I'm not sure how many we've got to go, but
Yeah.
That's all right. It's doable. Don't worry about that. You spoke about the meters. Well, there was that kick from Jock Madden early in the contest, maybe 7-8 minutes into it, and one of the Broncos blokes tapped it back to Jairo, and Latrell his eyes lit up, ran straight up. Jairo heads up play, gave it straight to him. I thought Latrell was going to go all the way there, but nice chase down there by Jordan Ricky. Got to give him a bit of credit there. He never gave up on the chase, and I'm sure he ripped off 60, 70 of those meters in that carry there. The big boy was on. And then we also had in the second half, I mean, it was 18-0 before Cam Murray come on. I think I threw a few texts out to people. I said, mate, it's 18-0. We haven't used Cam yet. This is looking good. And Cam come on. He didn't look like he missed a beat to me. Just those 1-out hit-ups off the ruck he does that are dead straight, where he ends up having to make a legs tackle and lands on his front.
Yeah, with quick play the balls.
With quick play the balls.
But how he moves as well, he's such a good mover. He's just so awkward to tackle, it looks like, whenever he runs the footy. He did not look out of sync at all, and he suited that role coming on just through the middle. And, we've spoken about it a lot. I've spoken about it on my podcast, but the game is moving towards those smaller mobile forwards, and it showed because Tallis Duncan and Cam come on, and it just really livened up the attack. We had a little bit more go forward in those sets as well. And Murray's runs were outstanding.
It's his core strength. And he's been I've watched him from a young age, from under 6s all the way up. And he's always had that core strength. He did a lot of beach flags, in his younger days, and a lot of swimming. And he's got that really, really strong core and very well balanced when he runs. So he's able to bump off tackles and still keep moving at the same time. And outstanding. And just going back to the Latrell try, after that brought up 40,000 points for the South Sydney Rabbitohs in their history of the game.
Yeah, wow, unbelievable. Just back to Cam and those abs. I'll tell you what, I'll have to get some tips off him for the summer, just quietly.
Well, you are calorie counting, I've been told.
Yeah, I'm trying.
That delivery behind us doesn't help me, but ripped off a couple of...
Big Darryl Lee.
Yeah, mate, geez, they've got a great range of chocolate, Darryl Lee.
Might have a setback too, just quietly.
That dark chocolate strawberry. Oh, Jesus, get stuck into that. Yeah, well,
I'm a white chocolate man, and they've brought out the new Rocky Road range. It's unbelievable. Do yourself a favour. Go down to IGA, Woolies or Coles, buy one of them, $6 a block. You could eat 3 of them easy.
Oh, no dramas.
Brownie, you've convinced me, man. I might have to take one home.
Yeah.
Great value. Now, you're speaking about records, 40,000 points. Well, one of our very special players who debuted in 2014, he scored... He was at the got a few mentions at the Sparrow event yesterday. He scored 21 tries in his first 18 games of his career. So it's nearly unheard of. Anyway, he's had another historic moment. We've been there for a lot of them. Brownie, he becomes the highest try scorer for a single club in the history of the game with 191 tries. He has no peers in that space now. The only record he's going for now is the 212 by the great Ken Irvine. He's second all time on his own. He is a special finisher, and that pass by Latrell was an absolute masterclass. To get him on the outside, he is insane, Latrell, when he does that.
Yeah, he was sprinting before he passed the ball, so he was sprinting onto it and then passed it, and outstanding. It was only fitting that AJ scored it the way he scored, going in untouched. I'd probably say 60-70% of these tries that he has scored, he hasn't been touched on his way to that try line, and it was outstanding. And who better to receive the ball from than Latrell? It was outstanding. But I want to give a mention to Tallis Duncan in the lead-up. I thought he was instrumental in the tackles leading into it. He was heavily involved. He had a couple of tough carries and offload, and he also played that link man on Cody, and they offloaded it out to Latrell. So, yeah, big credit to Tallis Duncan in that play.
I thought he was outstanding, Tallis Duncan, on the night. Surely he gets his first starting lock role this week with Livers out, Cam's out now against Manly. Surely he gets that covered at number 13 jersey on this week and plays some healthy minutes.
Well, Keon's been there.
Well, Keon, yeah. Well, Keon might have to play a few other positions, but we'll see. He's got to get some game time there.
Yeah.
Even to start lineup somewhere,
Yeah,
mate.
wouldn't shock me if he starts in the front row, to be honest, playing in that middle role as that more mobile link man forward. Back on that try, that Alex Johnston try, we spoke about it after Origin with Hammer. The reason why you've got to mark up on him is just because he can beat you with his speed back on the inside as well. Have to drag in a lot of defenders, and you have to make that play on him. Otherwise, he's either going to pass out or cut back in. Latrell Mitchell's a completely different reason. It's because of his power. He's either going to pass out or he's going to run over the top of you. You've got to get 2 or 3 men on him, and unfortunately, it creates the overlap. And Latrell looks very good when he passes that spiral ball out to the wing there. But yeah, look, I mean, Latrell Mitchell, such a freak, one of the better players in the competition, and showed it on the night.
Yeah,
it was right in front of us. I was out with my daughter and her friends, and they just went wild. Well, we were surrounded by Brisbane Broncos. It's a funny thing there, actually. I didn't notice it, but there's a girl sitting in front of us, the Broncos jersey, and then 5 minutes later, I look, and she's wearing a South jersey, right? So she swapped the jerseys 5 or 6 times. I videoed it. It was very strange. Every time they looked like they were on top, she put the Broncos jersey back on.
Yeah.
She had the South jersey on until half time. The back end of the game, she put the Broncos jersey back on when Mariner scored. I'd never seen that before.
About a turncoat.
Never seen anyone do that before. But this character sitting behind us from Tamworth, they were Broncos fans. Oh, he was funny, this little kid. He was into us the whole game. South.
They travel from far and wide to come and watch the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs.
They certainly do, mate. Look, Mariner, he's a classy player. This Dean Mariner, he's touched up AJ again with that little shimmy. AJ sort of leaned in on his inside. He just showed him the sideline. He was able to put on a massive, violent left foot step and get around the outside and lunge in for a try. And he scored another one off a beautiful Ezra Man grubber. So he finished the game pretty strong. Team Mariner, he's classy, that kid.
Once Mariner gets on the outside here, it's pretty much good night, isn't he? He's got so much speed, and once he gets around you, it's probably no coming back from that. But wrong-footed AJ once, and then scored off the back of a nice little kick in the end goal.
Raw speed, but just the footwork on him as well. Young Kiwi guy as well, born in Auckland. So I'm sure the Kiwis are looking forward to that in the next few years when he gets a crack there on the wing. But like just his footwork, it's not to the extent, but it almost reminds me of a young Roosters RTS. The footwork there on the edge, but just adding on some just pure raw speed. Like, he just gets around his defenders so easy. He's going to be a nightmare for defences over the next few weeks for Brisbane when they start to get a bit of a roll on.
He's going to have a great career. And the bloke that sat inside of the field, I want to give him a rap. He's a former Rabbitoh. We thought there could have been a revenge game there for him, but Josiah Karapani, 170-odd metres, 91 post-contact metres, the most post-contact metres in the match. Every time I looked up, the big fella was carrying it. Mate, he's a good young footballer, and I'm stoked to see him kick it on. Didn't work out at the Bunnies, but looks like he's getting a bit of a go at the Broncos, and well done to him. He hung around and went out to watch the Rabbitohs New South Wales Cup the next day at Redfern to watch some of his old teammates.
Yeah, good on him. Yeah.
How good.
He's a good fella, mate.
Yeah, what a talented footballer as well. Jesus Christ. He was outstanding against the Rabbitohs. You sort of didn't notice it in game when you were watching, but you look back at the stats and you just read out some of them then. He was outstanding. His kick returns too. I thought he had a lot of impact, and particularly when the Broncos were on the back foot a lot of the time because we were winning the forward battle quite a bit. I thought that he was outstanding, to be honest.
Yeah, they were swapping around during the match. Him and Cobbo, they were sort of going centre wing and swapping around, and depends on where they were and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure what was happening there. Like, I mean, they look to go out and beat a team like we did, as we spoke about. Look at the centres and wingers they had: Mariner, Josiah Karapani, Staggs, Cobbo. That's plus the Tristan Sutter. They had a fair back five. For us to come on top of them, we just about won every statistical category. Like we had more run meters than them and all that sort of stuff. Mate, great job by the Bunnies.
Yeah, and you're just talking about Karapani. You were just talking about Mariner before, his footwork. Karapani's got similar type of footwork. He's got really late footwork at the line, can beat a man, and he's really taken his opportunities. He's only had a couple of games in the top grade up there, but he's doing really well, and keep up the good work, mate. But the win just based on effort, chaps. I think effort on effort, and that's something that has changed over the past 6 weeks. And another thing, the game of rugby league has evolved, but one thing that hasn't changed is ball control. If you hang on to the ball, you'll go a long way to winning games. And the last 3 weeks, we've completed over 80%, and it's no secret that we're winning games now. And I'm sure when we were playing under JD, our ball control was around 65, 70%. And that's no disrespect to JD, but I'm just saying, how are you supposed to win games when you're completing at that level? And we always say it here on the show, ball control, if we're completing around 80%, we'll go a long way to beating any side, and that's what we're doing now.
Well, Kevin Walters would love that. He only had 60-odd%. They got the most errors. I think they're averaging the most, 11.5 errors per game in the NRL. They got the highest errors at the moment. So that's why the Brisbane Broncos, with that star-studded side, are just teetering around the 8. They got to start getting busy, mate. They've got a fair squad there.
They are
last year we had the worst completion rate out of any NRL team.
So we really dropped off a map halfway through the season, but that has all changed in the last couple of weeks. We've been outstanding. You spoke about a bit of a streak there. I think I spoke about Benny Hornby just improving our defence. Again, 12 points conceded.
Yeah.
Like 12 points last week.
But 12 points conceded in the last 20 minutes of the game too.
Yeah,
we've still got the worst defence average in the league. I think we're 30 points per game. We're still last there, but that has steadily increased from 37.5 at one point in the season down to 30, and I'm sure that's just going to keep plummeting down as we start to see that effort every week. And the boys, the main thing about South Sydney, I reckon, at the moment is they're just enjoying their footy. They're playing and they're having fun, and you can see they want to be there when they're scoring. There's 7-8 guys back slapping and jumping in, coming from the clouds to celebrate. They're playing with a smile.
And they're playing with energy, chaps, and they can do that on the back of what we were just talking about.
The pressure's off them. They don't.
You're not defending all the time. You're only defending the sets that you have to defend. You're not giving them sets out of the ordinary, you know what I mean, by making errors all the time. I don't know how many errors, but 88% or whatever we completed the other night, we didn't make too many errors. And you're not giving them extra sets to defend. And you can play with energy then.
One guy that we haven't brought up yet, who I think is definitely worth bringing up, and I thought was one of the better forwards on the field, Jai Arrow.
Oh,
I thought he was outstanding.
He was so
some of
tough.
his carries. Again, you talk about effort areas, guys putting effort in, week out. He's had some of the 3 best weeks I've seen in South Sydney colours. He's been outstanding with his effort.
Yeah, and he's carrying a shoulder injury as well. So had a chat with him yesterday about that. He said, "Yeah, look, it's bothering him, but he's a tough cookie.
Oh God, he's tough.
He's just
Looked like he was having a good time yesterday too.
typical Origin player, mate.
He certainly is now. Look, speaking about streaks, Keon 200 plus run meters 3 weeks in a row. From my memory, I haven't really gone back and looked at it, but I'm pretty sure that's the first Rabbitohs player to ever do that. If anyone's out there online wants to contest that, he gets our Ramos hardest working player of the week, the Brick by Brick award by the great company Ramos Brick Lane. We had Mark Ramos on the table yesterday. Geez, he had a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure they all
today
did.
and said he had a good time there. Absolutely outstanding, Keon, what he's been able to do. We've gone on about him, but a bloke I want to talk about, he's an unheralded sort of player, debuted in Las Vegas at age 28 years of age. I've interviewed him earlier in the year. If you want to jump back and have a look at that on Apple and Spotify, it's just a guy that probably was nearly going to give the game away many times, but sticking at it. He knew he had the ability to match it at this level with other people and his own age and people older and younger than him, and he was outstanding. He gets the Adam Sampson Finance loan market tackle of the week with that. Probably had 2 really, but one of them was when Xavier Wilson went through. He was trying to draw the fullback Latrell and looming up in support was who was looming up in support again?
Man, yeah.
Ezra Mann, he's pretty quick. Ezra Mann, if you can go back to the grand final last year, Gag stayed with him, just jumped all over him, and he dropped the ball, and AJ scooped it up. And he done another one later in the game in the second half where he jumped on Cobbo, I think, picked the ball up, and if you have a look back at that one, if he passes it Latrell goes in untouched. Just have a look there.
We saw it in Vegas, but I think that he'll really lock down a spot very, very soon. I think he's not too far off being in this starting rotation full time.
Well, he's off contract, so
we've been talking
we've got to be looking at re-signing a bloke like Jacob Gagai.
Yeah, well, we certainly do, chaps. We're very short at the moment in that area. We've got a number of injuries. He's got his opportunity, and we seem to be talking about him every week, doing something good. And yeah, well done to Jacob. It was an outstanding effort to save that try, and it was maybe a turning point in the game as well.
Oh, for sure. Well done. Yeah, all those moments add up. Now, there was a sin binning. Richie Kenner, pretty lazy one. I think it was enough I think it probably deserved to go in the bin. He got $1,000 fine, boys. What do you reckon about that?
It's a tough one. It really is.
It wasn't a hell of a lot of contact, really.
Yeah.
A bit of a slap, really, wasn't it?
Well, he was wrong-footed. Cobbo wrong-footed him, and he just stuck the arm out, came in contact with the head, and that's a rule. If you come into contact with directly in the head, you go into the bin.
Yeah.
But probably fair call. But the next one, it was probably a bit strange and a bit ridiculous, I thought, the Latrell sin bin.
Yeah, well, I think Cam Murray was sort of like run a decoy line there, and Jordan Ricky's come up thinking he had eyes for the ball there and hit him. Probably didn't directly hit him with the head.
No,
I think he hit him in the shoulder and it bumped up and hit Cam in the head.
I don't even think it hit him in the head.
Murray said it in the press conference. It was a whiplash. He hit him in the chest, and the whiplash actually swung his head back, so it didn't even get him in the head.
The Reece Walsh one was like that. It was really violent the way his head came back, but probably that was a bit more contact to the head. But probably deserved maybe 10 in the bin the way his head flapped back there.
Like he got hit off the ball. I don't know. Is that a sin bin offence? You get hit off the ball, but I don't think he came into contact with his head.
Yeah.
And Latrell running in, well, it probably looked worse than what it was, and Cam Murray said that. But come in and stick up for your mate. Well, I've done it many times.
I was so happy to see him come flying in and stick up for his captain, mate. That's what you want your teammates to do.
Look, I done it once.
I think he was third man in. Yeah.
I got done it once and got 6 weeks. So. But mine was
Tell us about that one. Really? Who was it, mate?
And for a later date, I was with Western Suburbs Magpies. We were playing. Who were we playing?
We've got a few Western Suburbs Magpie stories to get out of Brownie too.
No, I was playing with Penrith against West Magpies, and big all-in brawl started, and I just run about 40 metres.
Give them the Redford fair go, eh?
To get involved. Yeah.
I don't know.
Do they count that on your stats? You get an extra 30 metres on your stats? You weren't carrying the ball, but
they counted the 6 weeks on my stats. I know that.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it was worth a sin bin, really, when you've got a guy coming in to stick up for his teammate, no matter how far you're running, unless he throws a punch, I think that you got to just leave it, to be honest. Like Latrell Mitchell, all he did was come in and grab. Like if
He didn't punch. No.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's right.
There was nothing really to warrant a sin bin. So I think that at the end of the day, it was probably not the best call. But look, game's done now. It's happened, and look, Latrell
Good on him.
luckily is
Good on him for sticking up. I think Cookie come in first. I think
I think he got a
he's
couple
not
of
the biggest
weeks.
bloke, Cookie. So
Ricky got a couple of weeks.
did he? Oh,
So
there you
Yeah.
go.
I
And
think it's 3. I
Talis
think.
Duncan come in too. He got stuck into him, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what you want
I
from
got
your
I
players.
got no dramas with that sort of stuff. It doesn't worry me at all. That one, mate.
Mm.
Look, we've spoken about Latrell, the big game, try assist, a couple of tackle breaks. The one-on-one strip was right in front of us.
Yeah.
I knew that was a wrong call. That was a great challenge
Yeah.
by Captain Cam. He got
Mm.
straight onto it. Latrell was looking down at Gags. As soon as Gags released, boom.
Yeah, a lot of communication there.
He's just a
in the
bully on the
tackles.
field, isn't he? He just ripped the ball out of his hands. He nearly did it later in the match another time as well, but just decided against it. What about the kicking game, boys?
Outstanding.
Some of them kicks were to have Latrell and Jack Whiten in the team. They have got the biggest hoofs in the game.
Well, I was going to say some of his
Unbelievable.
I was going to say some of his bombs brought rain, but it was already raining.
Oh, it was pissing down out there.
So they couldn't have brought the rain, but geez, it would have went close if it wasn't raining. Outstanding. Come up with a couple of errors from his kicks, and yeah, he
drove him
certainly,
mad.
Yeah,
certainly did.
We've already spoken about it, the long kicking game, but also the kick chase as well, the little effort areas. But yeah, look, it does help when you've got Jack White and Latrell Mitchell in your team. Latrell Mitchell with all that size and all that power, getting the ball as far as he can. And then obviously Whiten, who, look, as we said, you don't really speak about it with Whiten, his kicking game, but yeah, put on an absolute clinic, and it helped us gain a lot of momentum and help keep them in their own end.
Yeah, the two words from Latrell both start with involvement. And when he gets involved, he's instrumental. It's simple as that. Involvement and instrumental is outstanding, and yeah, looking forward to watching him do it in Origin as well.
Yep.
Oh mate, look at how he's going to hurt some Queenslanders down there. It's not going to be pretty for the Maroons, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about the scramble defense. Just the way we went down to that 10-man before half time, the way we scrambled from inside out when they tried to shift, and obviously they're always going to try and shift because we're down, like you mentioned in Origin, you're not really down that one man. You're kind of down 2 in the defensive line. At times, I think AJ tried to jump up into the line because he tried to negate that, but mate, I thought that part of the game was the most proud that I've seen all season, mate. I loved it.
Outstanding, and we've touched on it over the last couple of weeks that our defence has improved out of sight. And yeah, defence wins big games, and you look at a lot of wins, and I bet it's built on the back of defence.
Yeah, exactly. Big wins built on the back of defence. Defence wins games. A lot of commentators and experts say it, and it's because it's true. In South Sydney, while it's not just one-on-one stuff, it's more scrambling. The effort area is to make that next play, and then when obviously one's missed, to come in and make that tackle and finish it off. The scrambling defence, the effort, the intent. We've spoken about it a number of weeks here on the podcast. But yeah, look, super proud of the boys. It shows great work ethic and great signs going into the next few weeks, particularly if we are to win the next 9 out of 11, and quite doable as well. The only ones that are questionable in that draw are probably Melbourne and Penrith. Other than that, I think we can win most of those games looking through the draw. But
next week, very important, boys. We play Manly. We are getting Manly at a good time because they won't have Cherry Evans. They won't have Olakau'atu. They won't have Trebojevic. But in saying that, we're not going to have Latrell and Cam Murray as well. So a very important win because the week after we got the bye, so it's a 4-point game.
Yeah.
If we can win them, obviously beat Manly at home.
Yeah.
People will be looking over their shoulder.
They will be, yeah.
Well, you've got it in the notes here. Jai Gray back in the fold here. Does he come in?
Yeah. Before we get to that one, I just want to give a special mention to. I thought Michael Chucam. I did tip that. I didn't think he played the full game, but he proved me wrong. He played 70, so he wasn't too far off.
Yeah.
He worked his absolute butt off, and also Tane Milne, mate. Tane Milne appreciation round. When's that come up?
Yeah.
I know junior member appreciation round's coming up next week, but what did he have? 20 odd carries again.
Yeah, I really liked
21 carries, Tane.
Yeah, his carries this week was so much better. I suppose the wet might have slowed it down a little bit or stopped his footwork, but he just charged into him this week rather than putting a little bit of footwork on them. Run to the space and not the face, and you'll make yards. And that's what Tane did the other night.
Just when we need a tough carry in the second half, when we looked a bit flat, the Broncos were coming a bit, we're getting tired. Tane just kept on his hand up time after time, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an undervalued, mate. I reckon he's outstanding. The post-match function, we had a fair crowd up there. People come from Griffith, Brisbane. There was people from Brisbane, Beck Ookin, obviously from Port Macquarie.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it. She drives from Port Macquarie with 3 kids, sat in the rain the whole game because it was her daughter's 13th birthday, but she wanted to sit on the fence so she could meet Tom Burgess and all them at the end.
Yeah.
Come up, did the post-match function, then drove to Port Macquarie.
Yeah, she's
unbelievable. That's just
a true champion.
I don't know if any other clubs have got people like that.
Passionate supporter. She loves the show. A shout out to you, Beck. Job well done the other night. And like you said, Chaps, in the pouring rain, sitting down the front, just waiting to get some autographs and some photos and put up some great photos as well. Happy birthday to your young daughter.
And, I'm 3 years undefeated doing the post-match function now. We got up again doing it. I'm doing it this Saturday night against Manly. If anyone wants to come out there.
I might join you.
It's in that northwestern corner. We had Jai Gray and Dean Hawkins come up. A couple of injured boys. Dino said he's about 6 to 8 weeks off. And Jai said, well, I'm playing against Manly next week. Now, he didn't select himself in first grade, but I'm sure the coach will have a good look at him and put him in the fullback position, I'd say. I don't know how many other options he's got there, but I think Jai Gray comes in and jumps in the fullback position.
Did put him straight in, Chaps, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, he's only played 3 games, but he's quite an exciting young prospect.
Yeah.
His foot speed and his effort and his energy, and he just loves the game.
Yeah.
He's a good fella there. We G'd him up a bit, asked him what is his relationship status. But look, he's off the market, ladies and gentlemen. Any of those girls out there looking, he's taken her on. He's got a girlfriend. He blushed a bit there. He went a bit red in the face when I asked him. But he's a great young bloke. And Dean Hawkins, what a champion.
What he lacks in size, he has in effort. I just find whenever obviously in the few first games that he's played, especially up in contact in the air as well, contesting for the footy, he does that so well. And his running game, his power in contact as well for such a small guy. What is he? 5'9", 5'6"?
Oh, I don't know. I thought I said, at least I'm taller than someone finally on stage. And someone from the crowd yelled out, no, you're not. Jai's taller than you, so I don't know. I didn't get a great look at it, but I think Jai's taller than me. So.
Well, put it this way, he's probably
vertically challenged.
probably one of the smallest players playing in the NRL, put it that way. But he plays with his heart on his sleeve. He doesn't shirk his task for sure. He gets amongst it.
He breaks tackles. Like his size has never held him back. He
plays well above his weight, Chaps.
Well, he said on stage, a lot of coaches had doubt about his size and stuff like that, but he just said, what I've always done is worked as hard as I possibly could on the training paddock to prove to them that I'm worth playing.
Yeah.
And that's what he done the entire preseason. I went to a lot of preseason training sessions. He was just about the best bloke trainer on the field every week.
Yeah.
He was murdering him in the preseason, and that's why he debuted this year. And that's why he will play against Manly this Saturday night and carve them to pieces. I promise you that. Isaiah Tass, good news on him. He's back in 6 weeks. Our man on the ground there, Cashy, he was out there at the New South Wales Cup yesterday, which we're going to get to. He said, he's going to be back in 6 weeks. So he's a big inclusion. Campbell Graham, I think one of the boys spoke to him. He seemed to think that, look, if we're in contention there, he'll definitely be coming back.
Yeah.
If not, well, they might just throw a bit of caution. And we'll see how we go with that one.
Because I saw on the NRL app, and I don't know if there's any truth to this or if they've just made an error, but it said round 18 as his return. So I don't.
Yeah, they originally thought that, but it's probably been pushed back a little bit because he hasn't done contact yet.
Okay.
It was Tippy who spoke to him. Tippy's his former coach at Marcelin and also for New South Wales. In the schoolboys there. So
still waiting to get into the best 17, Tippy. Come on, mate.
Oh, he gave you a rap. He gave you a rap yesterday at the event. So
give you a big rap. So anyway, look, we'll see what happens there with old Campbell. Again, you've got to do at least 2 weeks of contact before you're going to be ticked off to go and play NRL. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. New South Wales Cup, 18 all draw, a gutsy performance, one of the top sides in the comp. They had 3 or 4 seasoned first graders in the team, including Corey Horsburgh, Albert Hopewadi, James Schiller, and the boys come from behind, and a little bit errors crept into the Canberra game. They just hung around, and ended up scoring a try on the bell. And Dion Tiapa had a goal to win to match about 10-15 in from the sideline, hit the upright. So outstanding performance there. Jude Soldenhar come into the side, a boy we got down from the Gold Coast last year, played in the Flegg. He come in and scored a double. But it was a typical grindy performance by our New South Wales Cup boys.
Yeah, we didn't have the opportunity to watch it, chaps. We've only seen the highlights because we were at the event. It was on at the same time. But the conditions, once again, pouring rain down there at Redfern Oval. And, the boys did well to get back into the game. And, like you said, have the opportunity to win it at the end. But it looked like Dion had a fair game himself. So he was involved in a couple of the tries on the highlights. So, he's not too far away either, Dion.
Yeah, I can't wait till he gets his opportunity in first grade. His footwork is so good, and in those 2 games that he's had this year, he's looked really good. So, look, keen to see when he gets another opportunity. Hopefully over the next few weeks, because I want to see him again in first grade.
Yeah.
Yep, and hats off there to Lenny Skelton, 227 run meters. That's not a bad day out for old Lenny Skelton there, mate. And Jersey Flegg, they had to go down to Belconnen Oval in Canberra, in the nation's capital down there. The boys jumped on a bus about 8 a.m, chuffed off down there. Had a message from the coach at the end there, and it looks like they played pretty gutsy brand of football. They had no men on the bench for the final 12 minutes of the game. They were beaten 30 points to 18 by the table-topping Canberra Raiders. They have got a red-hot side. There's going to be some blokes coming out of that side. I'm knocking on the door for first grade over the next 12, 18 months. The best performers on the day were Louis Grozemy and Jason Halley. Their first stints were outstanding. And Sam Taylor, who just didn't stop trying all day, he played a game against he's an old Raider, Sam Taylor. He's a boy from Bateman's Bay, hooker 5'8", plays a bit of half. So sounds like he had a fair day out, boys. But there was a bit of an injury toll.
Yeah.
Which, geez, we keep struck by the injury toll this whole season. And terrible news, Hazen Mellors, the young prospect, he's done a hamstring again.
Same hemi?
I don't know. I didn't ask that, but yeah, that's all the only message I got. And we lost Manny Di Bartolo to a HIA, came back on, but one of the toughest players in that whole competition, Zane Ruggless, possible wrist fracture, played most of the game with a wrist fracture.
Yeah. He's a tough player.
That's not a bad effort.
Yeah.
I went to school with Zane, obviously, and played with him for Marcelin. He was in our grand final side for the A-grade team as well. He's such a tough player, and he's played through a ton of injuries. And, obviously, before we were in that A-grade side as well, back in the younger years even, he had a few leg injuries back-to-back. And, every few months I'd see him in a cast again. I'd be like, oh, mate, what have you done now? He just kept getting injured. So he's worked very hard to get where he is, and credit to him. Unfortunately, it is quite sad to see him out again with injury, but look, wishing him all the best because he works so hard to get into that side. And when he is in the team, he works at 110% as well, no matter where you put him, whether it be in the halves where he played with us or, in the centres where he has been recently. He just puts in 110%. So, yeah, Zane, wishing you all the best, brother, and hopefully back on the field soon.
Yeah, I think he missed the whole season last year through injury. He had rods put in his leg, in his shins, and talented player. I know where he gets his toughness from. His old man was as tough as teak, and I'm sure he'll be back stronger than ever, Zane.
Yep, and as Brownie said earlier, it's junior appreciation round, so they're going to be playing old school all 3 rounds out there at Accor Stadium next Saturday night. Should be very interesting to have a look at how that lineup pans out, depending on the availability of certain players. I'm not sure. Maybe Liver might be ready to come back. I don't know. He might have just been a 1-week injury.
Yep.
Not too sure about that calf designation. But look, I know we said a few weeks ago, but a possible debut for Liam LeBlanc, mate.
I believe he was pretty strong yesterday in the New South Wales Cup as well. So
could be a smoky, or do they just play Dion Tialpo on that bench? Bit of cover on the backs.
Well, they're both 18th and 19th man against on the weekend. So one of them will get a start.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the direction they go, and I think no matter who they chuck on there, I think they're going to do a good job.
And Manly had a few injuries today. They finished the game with no one on the bench as well.
So Garrick went off for a HIA the first time, came back, and then had another head knock about 5 minutes later and had to go off for another HIA. So,
well, you think he'd be gone?
He's out, mate.
Well, he was Category 1 as soon as he came off the second time. Obviously, Taniela Paseka, he came off with a broken thumb. They thought it was dislocated. They tried to pop it back in, and then he was just like screaming on the field. And then they looked at it and go, okay, yeah, that's probably not dislocated. It's probably broken. We better take you off. So he came off pretty early in the game as well. And then, a few other injuries to some of the forwards in that team as well. I know that Corey Waddell didn't come on. I don't know what the injury was there, but he missed about 45 minutes of that game. They thought he was injured, so they kept him on the bench. Just a ton of injuries. Carl Lawton had to go out into the centres, and Jake Simpkin, his first game as a Manly Sea Eagle, he had to play pretty much the full game there at 9. So, look, some tough performances there for Manly. For them to still get the win, though.
It was a gutsy win by Manly. Mate, Charlie Cherry Evans, I've never seen a player at 35 years of age get better. He is fine line, a bit like Liam LeBlanc, Sauvignon Blanc. He just gets better with age,
that's
mate.
It. Like I said earlier, we're getting them at a good time, but I didn't know about all them injuries. So we will definitely get an injury.
We've got 3 Origin players as well. Ola Kawatu, the captain.
That's what I said earlier,
Cherry Evans
and Trebojevic. But we will endeavour to get you an injury update through our great mate, Jimmy Dimmick.
Yeah, well, that might be about it for another edition of Rabbitohs Rabbitohs. We'll see you for Team List Tuesday. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.
Up the Rabbitohs.
Up the Rabbitohs.